It is exactly 30 minutes past the hour 11. Good morning to you. We're coming to you live from our studios here at 41 Senyan Avenue, Kanda. This is News 247 Live. And now coming up in the next 60 minutes, minority fights majority over decision not to include human sexual rights and family values bill on the order paper for Wednesday sitting.
You force LGBT on the throat of the Akufo-Addo government. Today, you don't want LGBT. You would want it. Mumbe papa. Mumbe papa.
Said Abdul Hanan Al-Lodiba denies allegations of diverting state funds into private accounts. Also ahead, outrage as Yasantua Girl Senior High School authorities cut off hair of first-year students. And in business, Group Chairman of Acelane BCNJ Limited lauds Bank of Ghana for decision to regulate the cryptocurrency space, but expresses unhappiness at delays in doing so.
A very good friend of mine. When I was at Alex Pay, I was going to do hackathon for them. Today, they are valued at $3 billion. Okay, they are ringing bells at NASDAQ. They are opening the stock market. Okay, what has happened to the Ghanaians? What it means is that the bureaucratic nature of our regulations even has actually siphoned a lot.
We have the details of all these stories and many more coming up. Do stay with us. Streaming live on our Facebook platform at Channel 247 and on YouTube at Channel 247 TV. And now we are active on TikTok at Channel 247 TV. I am Irabna Boateng. Announced the details of Parliament on Wednesday was the bone of contention between the minority and majority sides of the lawmaking house. The minority questioned why the bill was not on the order paper after an announcement that it would be laid on Wednesday, 22nd October 2025. The majority insisted that because it was passed by the 8th Parliament, there is no need to relay it. The minority, on the other hand, accused the majority of attempting to run away from the bill. Well, let's take a look at what happened yesterday.
Speaker, today, order paper, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Value Bill 2025, LBGT, is confusedly missing in the order paper. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that this is new to this Parliament, but it's not new to the House. In the 8th Parliament, we know that the bill elapsed, and that is why yesterday it was reintroduced. And Mr. Speaker, speaking with some of the sponsors of the bill, they indicated that they have satisfied under Order 186.
Only yesterday, when we were raising this issue, Mr. Speaker, you were saying that the bill must pass. Now you are in government, you are in the hot seat. When the IMF, the World Bank, IPU threatening, you are now running away, you are saying procedure. Which mistake? There was nothing administratively in error. I dare say for the records. You force LGBT on the throat of the Akufo-Addo government. Today, you don't want LGBT. You would want it. Mumbe papa. Mumbe papa. You use it to win election. Now, when your stakeholders, the international community is warning you, you want to run away. Run to where? You now see governance. You are in the kitchen, you see the heat. I was there. We will plead with you. Let's manage this situation. You say no. Remember that hot afternoon? Agboja, as a chief whip. You remember that hot afternoon? When you suffocated me with third reading, you are laughing.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Let me lie. With respect.
Yes, but don't forget that
Mr.
at the
Speaker, stay
material
away from
time
this debate.
that this bill was being considered, I was the ranking member for Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. And I recall that the bill that was passed, there is nothing criminal.
Mr. Speaker.
We took out the criminal element at the committee sitting.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the track record of the NDC in this matter is very clear. Mr. Speaker, history will bear testimony that as far back as when the late President John Evans Atta Mills was president, and the United Kingdom government tried to get us to be favorable towards certain legislation. We resisted, we rejected, and we stood our grounds. So I can assure you, and I can assure every Ghanaian, that under the watch of the NDC government, this practice will not be allowed. I am saying that under the watch of the NDC government, this practice will not be allowed. Mr. Speaker, so far as I'm concerned, even when we were a minority, we succeeded in passing this bill. And so far as the records will bear it, the bill has been passed. All that we're saying is that so far as we're concerned, this House passed the bill. This House passed the bill. But I've just said it, that this House passed the bill. Mr. Speaker, we'll wait for Speaker to return. We will wait for Speaker to return and give directions in this matter.
But speaking to the media, one of the proponents of the bill, Reverend John Intim Fojo, accused his colleagues in the NDC of wanting to run away from it after using it to campaign ahead of the 2024 elections.
Asking NDC government, where is the Human Sexual Rights Bill, which had gone through all the processes and approved? Today, the majority leader is telling us that Speaker is not aware. The clerk is not aware. And the first deputy speaker is saying he's not aware. But he chaired the committee that approved this bill as private members' bill. It was the speaker who approved this same bill and director for gazetting. It was the clerk who wrote the letter accompanying the gazetting. So why is everybody saying they are not aware? Suddenly, this goes clearly to indicate that there seems to be a clear attempt by NDC government to run away from this bill. And we're asking the question, why are they running away from this bill? A bill that they thought was important yesterday must be important today. Even more so, recent developments have heightened the discomfort of Ghanaians. At the time when we began this bill in 2021, we never had two South African gay couples coming to the Independence Square to openly kiss and declare themselves gay couple and declaring independence and freedom, calling out every practitioner of LGBT to show up. We did not see that. But under President Mahama, that has occurred. So we are demanding that that bill must be reintroduced today. An addendum must be raised for it to be brought back. We will not allow NDC government to run away from the bill. It's a bill that is important to all of Ghanaians. We all know the propaganda they put up to this bill, the lies they peddled. But we passed it when we were in government. Why are they running away from passing the bill? We are demanding that the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill be passed now. Be passed now. And not deferred to any other time.
On this, let's speak to Inusa Fuseni. He is a former member of parliament for Tamale Central and a former member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament. Hello, sir. Thank you for your time on News 247 Live. Well, the majority leader during the disagreement on why the bill was not on the other paper said because it was passed by the 8th Parliament, there is no need to relay in it. You are a lawyer. Tell us, what does the law say about bills that were not assented to by a previous parliament?
So thank you for having me. But permit me to go back and comment on what the majority leader has said.
Okay.
I do not know whether the majority leader was listening to himself when he was speaking. This is a bill that came to parliament at the time that he was majority leader.
At the time he was minority or majority?
At the time he was majority leader. This is the minority leader speaking.
Okay. Okay. So you are referring to Afenyo Macken, if I'm getting you.
Yes.
Okay.
Afenyo Macken just spoke.
Okay.
This is when the bill was passed, when he was majority leader. A majority leader of a government in power. The only reason why the bill did not become law was because his president refused to assent to the bill. He did not only refuse to assent to the bill, he violated the express provisions of the Constitution and also threatened Parliament. I don't know where the minority leader, then majority leader was when his president acted the way he acted. Now, we all know that by parliamentary practice, a previous parliament cannot bind a succeeding parliament. And by extension of the principle, a previous president cannot bind a succeeding president. So, if the bill, in terms of bills, I mean, let me make it specific. In terms of assenting to bills. So, yes, Parliament passed the Human Sexual Values and Family, Human Sexual Relations and Family Value Bill. Parliament passed it in the 8th Parliament, but it was transmitted to the presidency for assent, and the president refused, neglected, or, simply retransmitted the bill or sent back the bill to Parliament. So it was never assented to.
Okay. But now,
the assenting formula of a bill, or the way a bill becomes law, is assented to, passed by Parliament, and assented to by the President.
Okay.
So, insofar as the bill was not assented to by the President then, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the bill cannot become law, and so has lapsed. This president is the 9th president of the Republic of Ghana. He's not the 8th president of the Republic of Ghana. He's the 9th president of the Republic of Ghana. This parliament is the 9th parliament of the Republic of Ghana. At the time the bill was passed, it was passed by the 8th parliament of the Republic of Ghana, but never became law.
Okay.
The 8th parliament, the acts of the 8th parliament cannot bind the acts of the 9th parliament.
Okay.
The composition of the 9th parliament is different from the composition of the 8th parliament.
So, Mr. Inusa, what then happens now that we have a new president and we are in the 9th parliament? What then happens?
So, a bill will have to be reintroduced.
Okay.
To parliament.
But that was what was supposed to happen yesterday.
Well, by parliamentary record, the bill was not on the order paper.
Yes.
The bill is not part of the agenda of this parliament. Every time parliament is going to meet, they have a parliamentary agenda. And it will be important for you to go and secure a copy of the parliamentary agenda and see what has been programmed for deliberations in this meeting.
But sir, the issue here is this bill was supposed to be on the order paper for yesterday's sitting, but it wasn't in. The reason why the minority leader, Alexander Fenyo-Makin, commented on it, and the majority leader, Mahama Yariga, said that because it was introduced during the 8th Parliament, it's not supposed to be relayed before Parliament in this 9th Parliament.
So I'm telling you that the starting point of an inquiry into the program of Parliament for this agenda, for this meeting, is to go to the parliamentary agenda.
Okay.
So was or is the Human Sexual Relations and Family Values Bill to be introduced in Parliament at this meeting? The agenda will answer that question.
Okay.
If it is not in the agenda for this meeting, it can only come under a certificate of urgency. And if it is to come under a certificate of urgency, it is only the executive who can introduce a bill in Parliament under a certificate of urgency.
Okay.
So what is the basis of the complaint of the minority leader?
So in conclusion, the minority do not have a case here.
They don't have a case.
Okay, but from where you sit, do you see the NDC passing this controversial legislation, or you agree with people who say there is no need for legislation, but rather we should teach our children the right moral codes?
I've been very consistent on this matter. My views on this matter are known. I do not think that it is important to put on the state matters that are inherently private. This is not a public matter, it's a private matter.
How is it a private matter? Let's understand.
Why? Do you know what goes on in the bedrooms of people?
Okay, I get it now. Please go on.
Because we don't know what goes on in the bedrooms of people.
Okay.
We only know what goes in the bedrooms of people only after there is a disagreement. No, so. As we talk today, do we know what goes on in the bedrooms of our married men and their husbands and their wives? Do we know? That's number one. Number two, I think that it is reminiscent of the Big Brother phenomenon to say that if you are in a house or in a certain community and somebody is practicing a sexual activity that you don't share in with, you have a duty to report. And if you don't report, you can be punished for it. I think that it is reintroducing Big Brother in our system. So somebody is there watching you, and you are held vicariously responsible for not reporting a matter that doesn't concern you. 3, what concerns people must be the decision of people. So if the people decide that this is how they want to conduct their lives, allow them to conduct their lives and they bear the consequences.
Okay.
4, there are already enough laws in this country criminalizing homosexuality or carnal sexual knowledge. There are already a lot of laws in this country criminalizing that. And so if any gay couple decide to publicly, not privately, publicly display their sexual orientation, they will be committing an offense against the laws of the country, and they can be punished for it.
Okay.
If any gay or lesbian couple decide to recruit people into their activities and their recruitment activities are brought to the attention of the security agencies, they can be arrested and punished for it.
All right. Thank you so much for that insight, sir. We'll be speaking to Inusa Fuseni. He is a former member of parliament for Tamale Central and a former member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament. And he was sharing his legal perspective on the status of Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill and whether or not it needs to be relayed before the current Parliament. Well, that is the legal side of the conversation from former MP Inusa Fuseni, raising some interesting points about parliamentary procedure and the fate of bills not assented to. But beyond the legalities, there is also the moral and advocacy perspective to consider. We'll be speaking to Edem Senanu, who is a member of the coalition. Okay, so if we have Edem Senanu now, we can just go ahead and speak to him. Hello. Hello, sir. But remember, we're still streaming live on our Facebook platform at Channel 247. Edem Senanu is a member of the Coalition on Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values, and he joins us for a conversation on this. Hello, sir. Thank you for your time on News 247 Live. What do you make of the latest twist to the passage of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values? And do you have a feeling there is a reduced interest in pushing for its passage by the NDC, which was vocal while in opposition about its passage?
Well, first of all, I mean, yes, the events of the last 48 hours are a bit intriguing because, yes, on Tuesday, it appeared that we had all the news that it was going to be tabled. It appeared to be on the agenda, and a list of persons who were now the lead persons was put out. Then yesterday, we had it had been taken up. I had a clip where the majority whip was saying, majority, Mr. Mahama Yaga, saying that this had already been passed, and so they didn't see why it was still being tabled. All of that is intriguing. I mean, first of all, it demonstrates that there's some kind of confusion amongst the leadership of Parliament, and they obviously need to sit down and agree on the way forward, because they are, after third arm of government, they ought not to be projecting this level of confusion. Having said that, it is possible that there are different views which are being contended over amongst the ruling government. But for those of us who supported this process, I know that over 90% of Ghanaians have a strong disposition that this law should be passed. I think we would like to raise a red flag and point out to the government that please don't make the mistake of belittling how important this is to citizens, and you cannot continue going around in circles forever. We need to get a rein on it and make sure that we have clarity on your position.
Okay, but there are claims that donors are behind the reluctance in ensuring the bill becomes a law. From where you sit, would you say that might be a reason for the feet dragging?
It is potentially possible, but as many will remember, during the 3-year course, over and over again, we demonstrated that there are so many countries in the world where, whether they had IMF funding or not, they took a position. Uganda is one of those who come right to mind. They were going through an IMF process, and we're already in the third tranche of disbursement at the time that Uganda had passed its pro-family values bill. And so over and over again, we demonstrated that the evidence showed that there was no reason for government to kowtow to foreign or Western influence when too many countries had managed to pass similar bills, even if they were going through processes where they were trying to get IMF, World Bank, or other funding. So it would not be a substantive reason for this government to say this bill cannot be passed.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for that insight. Well, we'll be speaking to Adam Senanu, a member of the Coalition on Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values, giving his take on the political and moral dynamics surrounding the bill's passage. You're still watching News 247 Live. Away from that, residents of Gulumpe are still living in fear despite the heavy security presence in the community. As of 3 p.m. on Wednesday, October 22, 2025, calm had returned to the area, but residents, they say, they still feel unsafe. Idrisu Hamzata was in the community and filed this report.
Tension in Gulumpe, a community in the Kintampo North municipality, erupted following a violent clash between two tribal factions, leaving 4 people critically injured. A curfew was imposed on the town and its surrounding areas on Tuesday to restore law and order. By Wednesday afternoon, calm had returned following the deployment of security personnel. Despite the relative calm, fear continues to grip residents, forcing many women and children to flee for safety, while some men have remained behind to protect their properties. The once bustling community now lies deserted. Stores, shops and schools remain closed, bringing all economic activities to a halt and crippling the local economy.
Because I wa nyaba kuruma obi adwane pen baby no ho akoto one of us na ma wo dwana akoso said the business there enye and operate said there because osha source no be etum and so ko abanya no kwa just a damp no akoso no ntumi na what cannot be water bill no.
Meanwhile, ongoing security operations in Gulumpe have led to the arrest of 2 individuals found in possession of firearms and ammunition. The arrest reinforced the ban on carrying firearms, offensive weapons, and war regalia within and around the community. Security sources say the operation is part of broader efforts to stabilize the area by confiscating illegal weapons and preventing any further unrest.
We are hoping and praying that this situation will continue to the rest of the days. I am telling them that if they have their people among the deserted, they should ask them to come back because the security is very tight here and we are ensuring that we provide security for all of them.
Now let's go to the area and speak to our correspondent, Idrisu Hamzata, for more on this story. Hello, Hamzata, how are you doing? What really is the cause of this violence in Gulumpe?
So, in Gulumpe, the tension that erupted since Monday was as a result of disagreement between two factions, that's the Konkombes and the Gonjes, and which led to several people injured. So yesterday when I went to the town was deserted, people were still fleeing. Despite police presence, they don't feel that kind of so.
Hello, Hamzata.
And I can hear you.
Okay, so can you hear us? Because we are not getting you clearly.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I think we can manage with this. Can you go on?
Okay. People are still fleeing. Mainly children and women leaving behind their husbands to protect their properties in Gulumpe. And yesterday, before even you get to the community, you are likely to delay when you want to board a vehicle because of the tensions in the community.
You're saying that people are leaving their family to go protect their properties. What's the reason? Because I mean, if you had to give me an option to choose between my properties and my family, I'll definitely go in for my family. So what's the reason for this decision?
So the women and children are living behind their husbands to protect their properties, because they say that they are the indigenous people of the land and they can't leave. But the women and their children, they don't feel safe when they are in the community. For instance, when it happens that attacks, there is a new attack, how can mothers and children run for their lives? But for men, they can retaliate.
Okay.
So that's why they are staying back, and they let their wives and their children to go somewhere that is safe for them.
Okay. Well, currently there's a curfew in the area. How has it been?
Yeah. So aside from the curfew, the place is deserted, as I have already said.
Okay.
Shops are still closed. Schools are closed. So nothing is going on in the community. The community is a standstill. I was told that the community was once a bustling community, and they are into charcoal selling and charcoal loading and farming.
Okay.
But for now, because of the tension that has happened, people don't go to their farms to even bring out their charcoals to the market to sell.
Okay. But has anyone been arrested by the police?
Yeah.
How many?
I think from going, police arrested 2 people who were in possession of firearms and ammunition, which the Interior Minister instructed that no one should carry ammunition or any offensive weapon in the community or around the community.
Okay.
So these are the people that the police have arrested so far.
And this arrest was yesterday?
Yes, it was yesterday.
All right. Thank you so much for that update, Hamzata. And that was Idrisu Hamzata, our Bono East regional correspondent, bringing us updates from Gulumpe in relation to the imposed curfew there. She's saying that 2 people have been arrested, and the arrest was made yesterday in the area. To some more stories, the controversy surrounding haircut policies within the senior secondary school sector of the country has sparked a public debate on social media after a viral video portrayed a first-year student of Yasantua Girls Senior High School breaking down in tears following a mandatory haircut, an action taken in compliance with the school short hair rule. Prominent figures such as actress Lydia Forsen condemned the policy on her X platform, describing it as archaic and harmful. Others agreed to her point, stating the policy reflected colonial-era standards which existed to undermine women, reducing their self-expression and self-esteem. Against the motion, others argued that the traditional haircut standard was a positive approach that should be maintained as it helped young girls focus and remain less attractive for predatory men. Let's take a look at the video. But before we take a look at the video, let me take you through some social media reactions. Okay, this is from Lydia Forsen, and she says, "Sai, every time this conversation comes up, an army shows up in my mentions with the same tired lines. It helps them focus. It makes them less attractive to predatory men. It disciplines them. Meanwhile, girls are still harassed, struggle in class, and can be truant if they want. And schools that allow braids, puffs, locks, and all shockingly still produce excellent students because this issue was never here. This rule is a cake. We treat it like sacred tradition because it's easier than asking why it exists and whether it serves girls today. And years later, we wonder why women's confidence is tangled up in their hair, why some spend fortunes trying to fix what we taught them was wrong, why so many don't don't know how to care for their natural hair as adults. From childhood, we told them their very texture is a problem. This is coming from Lydia Forsen, who is an actress. But you can share with us what you also think about. Well, in high school, we were asked to trim our hair, but I didn't get the reason why there was like this discrimination where the black girls would be asked to trim their hair and white ladies that are schooling in Ghana will be allowed to go scot-free. But there are more social media. This is from my perspective, but there are more social media comments. So let me take you that. Let me take you through that as well. It says this is from Pick Bennis, and he's saying that, Pauls, let's be honest. Do you think it's fair that private schools get the privilege to keep the hair and still produce same WASI results? This is just something we have to stop. This is not done around the world. Asians and Americans keep their hair and have engineers. Now, Ivy, so sad for her. She will grow up to spend money on wigs when, okay, so these are the various social media, and I'm sure you've also seen some, but let's speak to a retired educationist, Charles Aheto Chega, on this matter. Hello, sir. Thank you for your time on News 247 Live. A section of public is unhappy with the decision of some schools to still cut down the hairs of their female students. Do you side with them?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. And I think that this is not an issue that we should spend so much time bickering about.
Okay.
I am of the view that schools are governed by rules and regulations. And prior to going into school, and remember, we are dealing with children, and children do not have certain rights of certain rights that they can exercise or are entitled to, by which they can now exercise. In schools, the principle is decency. You are being trained to become decent. And we value, as a Ghanaian culture, we value our decency. It is the central piece of our nature. So I find it very difficult for people now to begin to worry about all this. At an age below 18, if they tell you that you are not yet ready to do your hair, or you cannot keep your hair, which is natural, unkempt. You go to the dormitory in the evening, you go and plait it in the dark, and then open it as an afro and come and sit in the classroom, and the boy behind you cannot even see the board. I mean, that is it's seriously unfair.
But sir, before you go on, let me ask, you're saying that it's an act of decency. I can't really quote verbatim, but do you think decency is only in haircut?
No, it's not only in haircut.
Okay. So it means they can have their hair, because this, in the video, the lady's hair was natural. That was her natural hair.
Yes, but the point is that it was, in this case, we are using the expression bushy. If your hair is beyond a certain level, that can create an obstruction to a fellow learner in terms of ability to actually even see beyond your head on the board, then there's a need for you to bring your head down.
Okay, but this hair wasn't an afro hair. It was more of like a permed hair where it's straight. So she can just hold like a ponytail.
In the school itself, we do not even allow girls to do the perm.
Okay.
You see, we do not allow student girls to do perming. In fact, for their ages, they are even too small to do perming.
So this brings us back to my frustration, where during my time in high school, the black girls, or let me say the Ghanaians, with even long hair, were asked to trim it. But the foreign students, like the white girls, were asked to keep it. So if you are saying that keeping the hair can cause some form of distraction, so why won't we extend it like in general, where we have like, it's more like we have some limitations to the trimming of the hair?
No, listen, you have literally minimalized the issue.
Okay.
The point is that our hair is very different from the white girl's hair. Most of our hair are standing. All right. Now, for people who, and I know that girls would want to keep their hair, so sometimes they go back to their bedrooms or their dormitories, and they plait their hair, and then they kind of comb it, so it goes a little higher. Now, the white girls have Caucasian hair. You sit behind her, you can still see ahead of you. So if you come to a class with a very bushy hair, then you are creating a problem. And besides, the moment you put chemicals into your hair to make it softer in any form or shape, then you are introducing a certain system that the school abhors. Because we want you at that age to continue to have a hair which can be managed at that stage. So that it's not now that you're going to take a permanent cream or a styling gel and adding those expenses to your upkeep at that tender age. So it has all to do with upbringing. It has all to do with upbringing. So as much as if you can keep your hair, and most Ghanaian girls at their age do not have hair which is beyond a certain level. It is
which is beyond. I didn't get the last statement. Which is beyond what level?
Beyond a certain level. I mean, when it comes bushy, you can see that this girl's hair is bushy. If your hair is bushy, they will tell you to bring it down. Because if it is bushy, it will cause obstruction to the student who is sitting behind you. In terms of not being able to see the blackboard or interact properly with the teacher unless you get up and all of those things. So it is all part of, ensuring that there is a same environment that ensures that everybody has the equal opportunity of seeing the board very well and managing the quantity of hair on their head and then go on with it. That's
okay. All. But sir, with all these measures, are they in a way solving the issue of indiscipline in our education system?
Yes, so if you want to introduce indiscipline in this matter, it is because we don't even enforce a lot of the laws that we should enforce in schools. That is bringing the indiscipline. Because then the student sees that one girl has a hair that is like an afro hair. She comes to the classroom with it, and we allow him to allow her to go on with her hair and cause the obstruction. When you see a boy, you say, cut your hair. So then that whole issue of imbalance in terms of how we treat these issues begins to create that problem. So the indiscipline begins with the unfairness of dealing with that whole problem. So if the school rules say your hair should not be unkempt, then everybody, whoever you are, whichever family you come from, you have to ensure that your hair is kempt. And kempt means, it is managed in a manner that will not obstruct the opportunity for any student who sits behind you from seeing the blackboard and ensuring that they can participate in the learning activity that is going on in school.
Okay, well, still, okay. Still on the issue of indiscipline, sir, some schools allow their students to keep their hairs, yet some of these students with hair turn out to be the most disciplined. A case in mind is that of Tyrone Iris, who is now in the US pursuing higher learning. So is it not time for us to do away with some of these regulations in our schools?
You see, we are bringing back an old story. The Tyrone's case was a very different case.
Okay.
Tyrone's case was a very different case because we are talking about type of hairs in a school situation. And in fact, when you look at Tyrone's hair was just on it was Rasta. And Rasta was Rasta. And the Rasta people have a fine way of managing their hair. So it is them, it is unique to them. Their nature is, it's just like a white girl coming to your school and telling the girl to cut her hair. Cut her hair for what? Because in itself, if the white girl is sitting in front of you, the girl will not even obstruct your ability to see the ball.
So the question, in just like 1 second, the issue is the black hair, the black girls, our type of hair. That's like the issue. Yes. It causes destruction, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Once it has an ability to grow up, and when it grows upwards, then you need to find a way of managing it.
Okay.
That's all we are saying.
So I'll come back to you for an exclusive interview on this matter. But thank you for your time for now on this for your insights. And that was Charles Aheto Chega, a retired educationist, speaking to us on the issue of haircuts for students in high school. You're still watching News 247 live. We'll be doing some regional news, but before that, remember we are streaming live on our Facebook platform at Channel 247 and on YouTube at Channel 247 TV. Let's take a breather. We'll be right back.
Hello, parents. Do you want your children to feel happy? Are you finding a playful and serene environment for them to enjoy their weekends? Then Kids Place is here for you. Yay! We have all kinds of play equipment for them to play smart, learn, and be protected as well. We are located at Dansuman behind Datu School Complex. You can contact us on 020-436-0651 or 0267-375152. Kids, are you ready? Yeah!
On our regional desk today, the main traffic light in the central business district of Tamale has been dysfunctional for the last 7 months and has since led to the area becoming a hotspot for accidents. The intersection, which connects major routes leading to Tamale Teaching Hospital, has become a hotspot for traffic jams and minor accidents as motorists, tricycle riders and pedestrians struggle to navigate without control signals.
What was supposed to be a regulations that has to do with the traffic light has been off for almost 6 to 7 months now. The Central Business District main traffic light in Tamale has been down for so many months now without any explanation, without authority saying anything about it. We have decided to pay working visit or this night visit to the Central Business District, and we realized that the traffic lights are still off without working. In fact, upon coming here, I have witnessed one accident that has just transpired and the person has been rushed to the hospital. This shows how urgent the traffic light needs to be fixed. In the afternoon, you see the community police doing the direction of the traffic light, but in the night, no one is there to direct the traffic. So those coming from Tamale Teaching Hospital wants to come on. Those from Waterwell side wants to also pass. At the end of the day, the accident comes off. Who is to be blamed for the traffic light not being fixed till date? It's been going so long. I even got an accident here. I was struck by a motorbike here. And it was last 2 weeks. It was last 2 weeks when I was passing. There was no traffic. So I came and I wanted to cross. And one man just crossed in front of me and knocked me. And knocked me that I was taken to hospital just here. Last week. So being here is not nice for us. Because here in the night, you could see here it's dark. Even the traffic light is not working. You can see people are just passing anyhow. For you, he's talking. You do his work. For you, they pick you, man. Your mama take you and give you the system, man. You're supposed to do your work very well. You go here, talk. It's not fine. So you see, what do you have to say about the traffic? If they say you want to pass the traffic, if the lorry and everything coming, unless you told them wait. They won't wait. You go see, you don't see, somebody is going standard. No, the standard is nowhere.
And that was it for Regional Focus. Coming up is business news. In business news today, an entrepreneur and group chairman of the Ace Line BCNJ Limited, Moses Kanduri, has lauded the decision of the Bank of Ghana to finally regulate the cryptocurrency space after years of its existence. Though unhappy with the delays in taking the decision to regulate the space, Moses Kanduri believes the enormous opportunities in that space will be beneficial to the nation. He spoke to Channel 247 Business.
Crypto didn't start today. I mean, when we heard about Bitcoin, everybody was running for Bitcoin. This is 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, it's taken us 4 or 5 years to actually understand that that is the crypto that today we want to be able to regularize and regulate. You know, so of course we have 4 years to catch up. Again, let's go back to fintech. When the Ghanaian fintechs were looking to make a big inroad, we didn't have the needed regulations to do that. Okay, Nigeria learned from Ghana. And what happened to Flutterwave? If you remember, Flutterwave, a very good friend of mine, when I was at LiveStreaming, I was going to do hackathon for them. Today, they are valued at $3 billion. Okay, they are ringing bells at NASDAQ. They are opening the stock market. Okay, what has happened to the Ghanaian? What it means is that the bureaucratic nature of our regulations even has actually siphoned a lot of innovation from our market. So for me, I think that we still have a long way to go in terms of how we regulate things. I would have thought that, look, 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago, we should have allowed people to actually play in crypto. Today, we would have been assessing them and giving them the necessary regulations that they need. You see, it's always good for the product to be ahead of the regulation, because what are you regulating? You are regulating something that you preempt that will exist. But what if I have a smarter idea than what you preempted that will exist? Okay, so yeah, it's not necessary you have to always wait for them to produce or the product to come out and then you regulate. I mean, to regulate for the product to come out. Let the product come out and then you watch it, look at where it's going, and then you can regulate it. So yeah, I think that we've actually taken too long, but nonetheless, new government, new focus, we can run at the speed of light and then be able to catch up with the world. But we just have to ease our stance on how we are hardened or become hard on our players in the market.
Still in business news, Deputy Majority Leader and renowned economist George Ricketts Hagan has expressed optimism that Ghana's economy is on course to successfully exit the International Monetary Fund program. In an exclusive interview with him, Ricketts Hagan emphasized the need for stronger fiscal discipline and greater efficiency in government spending, while urging government to ease economic burden on consumers following Bank of Ghana's work towards IMF exit.
The performance of our fiscal policy, i.e. the Ministry of Finance, seems to be on a perfect track. This is what you need to do to get out of the situation that you are in. It also means that there are certain things that you cannot do immediately, and those are also important. That somewhere along the line you need to be able to do them. And that is, you need to grow your economy. When you rationalize your fiscal side of things, sometimes it can impede your growth because you have to get a stranglehold of the system to control. So somewhere along the line, the system should be eased. So we hope that we get out of the IMF program, and not only leaving it, we leave it successfully. And when you leave it, you ask the right question. People tell you we've been through the IMF 17 times or whatever. Yeah. So the IMF has become a revolving door for a country like Ghana It's like a revolving door. You enter, you think you are facing here. When you go around, you are inside the door. You are not going anywhere. So, in order to prevent IMF becoming a revolving door for us, we as a country needs to get our act together. I've seen people say IMF has not developed anybody's country for them. Yes, maybe they haven't developed it, but they have saved countries. When they save you, you are not to go and sin again. You know, it's like when you go and your pastor prays for you about your sickness. They tell you that Jesus was saying, go and sin no more. But if you go and commit the same sins, you will come back to the revolving door.
You're still watching News 247 Live. Coming up is sports news. In sports news today, CAF Match Commissioner Na Odofolo Norte is calling for greater investment in sports infrastructure, athlete welfare and development at both school and club levels. He says a deliberate and sustained effort in these areas is key to building a stronger sporting foundation for Ghana.
Our match against the Lionesses in England is historic as well as symbolic. It is a reminder to the world that African women's football has come of age. It is also a call to action for all of us, administrators, private sector, media, fans, to rise to the occasion. It is my fervent wish, and I wish that we collectively push this further. Let's invest in infrastructure. Madam, I see you. Let's invest in infrastructure, in athlete welfare, in school and club level development. The returns, both socially and economically, are immense. To the media, our friends, carry this message far and wide. Please cover the women's football with the same energy you give to the men's game.
Up next is entertainment news. Nigerian music stars Ayra Starr and Rema have joined forces on a new single titled Who's That Girl, marking one of the most anticipated collaborations of the year. The release comes with a vibrant music video that highlights both artists' global appeal and reinforces their dominance on the international Afrobeat scene. Coming up is international news. The U.S. has announced new sanctions targeting Russia's two largest oil companies in an effort to pressure Moscow to negotiate a peace deal in Ukraine. The announcement came one day after U.S. President Donald Trump said a planned meeting with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, in Budapest would be shelved indefinitely. While the economic impact to Russia is likely to be minimal, it represents a major shift in Trump's foreign policy, having previously said he would not impose sanctions until European nations cease buying Russian oil. The Kremlin said Russia was immune to the sanctions. Trump had repeatedly threatened tougher measures against Moscow, but has avoided them until now in hopes of brokering a peace deal in the 3.5 year long invasion. And this has been News 247 Live. Before we go, a recap of our headlines. Minority fights majority over decision not to include human sexual rights and family values bill on the other paper for Wednesday's sitting. Former Chief Executive also of Buffer National Stock Food Company Limited, Abdul Hanan Aludiba, denies allegations of diverting state funds into his private